Hey there, Shooby Doodlers. How are you doing? It is Wednesday, the 3rd of February 2021, I think. I still haven't caught up. And this is the Wednesday Drawing Show. And I can see we've got Snakearoos. Hi, is that in Australia, aren't you? With the snake. You've changed your channel name, haven't you? And we got Judy kind of looking out for things. Just to keep you all in check. And Judy might be here in person next week, so that's going to be quite an interesting thing. But today, I thought we might talk about hang-ups. And I think everybody, I think every creative person has hang-ups of one sort or another, particularly about drawing and stuff like that, creative block, all that kind of thing. So really, I am waiting for somebody not just to say, hi Shoo, but anyway, while I'm at it, hi Mohammed, hi Long John, hi Yenica, hi Long John again. And I want to know what stops you from drawing that kind of thing, and see if we can talk about that and maybe sort out some of those kind of problems. I know I have had many such problems in my time, and I think it's like a hurdle race. I think you start out as an athlete and you think, oh, I can run 100 meters. What else can I do? 100 meters hurdles, or is it 110? I think it's a bit longer, isn't it? And so they got to put these hurdles in your way, and that's kind of how I see it. And each excuse me, each hurdle that comes up to you is designed to trip you up and make you fall over and hurt yourself. That's what they're there for. And there's only one way you're going to get over that, is to jump really high and jump over it, and a lot of that is about technique. But you need to jump over it quite quickly and cleanly, and you need to run in between each hurdle, and you need to run in between each hurdle faster than the next guy to get to the winning tape. So I don't think any athlete, I think, starting thinking I'm going to maybe one day be an Olympic 100 meters hurdle champion, starts off by sort of getting down in the blocks, waiting for the start gun, bang, off you go. And I don't think they go straight through and clear all those hurdles in one go on their first ever run. They fall over a trip on the first hurdle. And, well, what do? They pick themselves up and they go back and they start all over again. Maybe they get a coach who tells them, well, look, you need to count the steps and you need to pace yourself and you need to work this out. You need to get the height, and you need this style and practice, and you think, great. And so they come along, they hit the first hurdle, they land, they don't fall over, stagger forwards, bang, crash straight into the next hurdle. so you have to learn how to pick yourself up and carry on to the next hurdle, and you have to know that there's another hurdle coming and be prepared. And so that's what a lot of it's about. And of course, when you get to the tape at the end, and maybe you win, and you start consistently winning, and it starts to become a bit boring, and you've learned how to do this thing. You've learned how to get through all those hurdles. You learn to get to the winning line. You learn to take all the praise and the adulation of the audience, and after a while it's maybe not everything, it just doesn't give you that buzz anymore. And so you start looking around and go, oh look, there's the 400 meters hurdles. That's a whole different thing. Or maybe even you think there's the steeplechase, which is a great long distance thing, and that's how you sort of get through to being something completely different, and that's a long distance race. And I think a lot of people will maybe get to the finish race of the 100 meters hurdle and think, that's it, I've done it, finished, that's it, I'll rest on my laurels. Other people think there are other challenges out there that I need to address and see if I can win at that, or at least even get round the course, which is half the battle. So let's see if you got anything to say here. We got Mohammed says, my favourite art channel, of course. So, Yannicka says, oh, I've got this new microphone thing here, which I got is blocking all the text. I'll just move that down a bit. Yannicka says, mine is mostly a combination of time and how to draw something that I have in my head. And that, yeah, time I think is the really difficult thing. I mean, I'm lucky in theory. This is my full-time job. This is what I do. I draw. Have I done any drawing yet? No, I'm just talking. And oh, my hair, look at that. It's lockdown hair. I need a haircut. In theory, you know, sort of art and drawing is my full-time job, and of course it never really works out that way, does it? Because, you know, you get up in the morning and you've got emails to answer, and then the post comes, oh, you got to sort something out with the bank, and you know, and then you got to take the car in for a service, and oh, I need to do a bit of shopping, and time is always a problem. So what you really need to do is to set a time and say, I am going to work at this time, and this is my time, and let everybody know that this is your time. I think I said once before, I remember listening to, there's a program we have here in the UK called Woman's Hour, and I used to listen to it a lot when I was starting out as an illustrator. It used to be on in the mornings. No, it used to be on in the afternoon. That's right. That's why I used to listen to it. And they changed the timing, so I stopped listening. Anyway, and I remember they were talking to a group of artists about what they did, and this one woman, she was a mother, she had 2 young children and a very demanding husband as well, I think. And so she said that, you know, she got everything done during the day and eventually managed to get to her studio at about midnight, where she allowed herself 2 hours to work, and then she would go to bed, and then she'd be up at sort of 7:30, 6 o'clock or whatever it was in the morning to get all the children up and get them off to school, get her husband sorted out, and she had other things to do during the day. I can't remember. She was a very busy woman. And I remember the next week they have, you know, people send in letters. This was in the old days before the internet, I think. And people actually used to write a letter on a piece of paper and stick it in an envelope and send it into the radio station. So you didn't get the answers until the next week. And there were people actually writing in to complain about how awful this woman was, that all she could think about was her own work. And she'd spent the whole day dedicated to her family and just took this little bit of time at midnight when everyone else was asleep and the house was quiet. And that was her time for herself. And people were still complaining that she was being selfish. And I couldn't believe that. That was incredible. So you need to choose a bit of time. Look at your diary and the whole. Sometimes you need to throw some other things out and say, do I really need to do that? Do I really need to spend 2 hours on social media? Maybe I could be doing some drawing rather than swiping through endless drawings of other people. And say, you know, that particular time of the day, I'm not going to go on social media. I'm going to sit down and draw. And then the secret is to have a place to draw. And that place to draw might just be the corner of a table. But have your piece of paper and a pencil out and ready. Somebody's phoning me. No, I can't do that. Unfortunately, that's a shame. And have this piece of paper and your pencil, and maybe the piece of work that you're actually working on at the moment, just there and ready to start working on. That's very disturbing, having a phone call there. That's another thing. Put the phone somewhere where nobody can contact you. And have that piece of paper, have the pencil. Maybe you're working on a piece, have it always there ready so you can just sit down and get straight to work. If it's a watercolour, have your watercolours ready. If you've got a studio, I'm really lucky. I have my little shed at the bottom of the garden where I come and sit, and I can just, in theory, I can just sit down and start working once I've done my emails, once I've done this, once I've done that, once I've done everything else. So, time. What was the other thing, Yannick? Let me have a look. And how to draw something that you have in your head. That is really, really tricky. And I think unless, if you're copying stuff, then that's one thing. So you think, oh, I really want to draw a flower. So you either go and find a flower and you stick it in front of you and you draw from life, or you find a photograph, or you take a photograph and you draw from that, and then you're basically copying and recreating, you know, from that photograph. But if you're wanting to draw something a bit more creative and imaginative and it's in your head, I imagine you're a bit like me and you see pictures. and I think that's kind of, you know, people who do imaginative illustrations, I think that's the way they are. And I don't see pictures, I see whole sort of movies sort of go sort of in front of my eyes, in my inner kind of mind's eye. And so it's getting that vision down onto paper. That is the difficult thing, and I don't think you're going to do that in one go. So part of this is about learning the skills of drawing, and knowing that if you make that mark, you build this kind of shape from that, and how you build particular shapes from particular sort of basics. Like, you know, you can build things from circles, you can build things from ellipses and squares, and knowing that kind of thing, that you kind of build up that confidence that if I've got this sort of shape kind of idea in my head, I know where to start. I can put down those basic kind of shapes and then build from there. And, you know, all the great imaginative painters, you know, through the centuries, they've always done preliminary sketches, and you kind of slowly work up the thing and you work up to this finished final image. And that's the trouble with social media these days, of course, is that all you ever see is this glamorous finished article, and you don't see all the hard work that has gone into it, all the practice and the design and the rearranging and all the failures that have gone into creating that one. So it's something you just have to keep working on. And I know particular abstract painters, there's, you know, people who splosh paint all over the place, and you think, you know, a child could do that, but they too have a vision of what it is that they want to create. And you say to them, how do you know when it's finished? And they say, well, it's when that thing that's in front of you looks as close as possible to the thing that I had in my head in the first place. That's when you know that it's finished. And it might not actually physically look like the thing they had in their head. So it might just be more of a feeling. But they've kind of married these two things together, the original concept, and they finally got to whatever it is that they wanted to achieve. So let's have a look at what we got going on here. We've got quite a bit of chat going on here. Snakeroos, you are the only person that can pronounce my name right. That's okay, don't worry about it, I've got it. So there we are, Mohammed. Sometimes I don't have that much time. Then, why not? I bet you do, really. If you really look at everything, you know, write down a whole day. Write it down, you know, sort of 8:15, woke up, had a cup of tea or whatever. And write down everything that you do, and you'll find there are all these little periods of time when you're not actually doing anything. You'll find there are periods of time when you are watching really rubbish TV, or you're watching useless YouTube videos, or TikTok or whatever, and you've just been swiping, and an hour has gone by. You could have spent that hour drawing if you really want to, if you're serious about it. There is always time. And you know, and sometimes maybe you're doing something and you think, oh, God, I would like to not do that anymore, but it's become a habit. And you know, maybe it involves just being with other people that, you know, you can't kind of get out of, but maybe this is your chance to kind of move on and get that little bit of time for yourself, rather than having to play a game of basketball or something that you do every week that you don't particularly really want to do anymore, or I don't know, whatever. So there is always a way to find time. It's there. Balancing room, hi there, how are you doing? My hang up is not knowing how to get proportions or perspective correctly. Well, I talked about that a couple of months ago about that, and that is practice, 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 practice. There is nothing like it. And I remember, I'll just go to the overhead camera, and I remember when I was quite young. Glasses. Where are we now? Am I on here? Oh, that camera's gone dead. Let me just sort that camera out. Hang on. I don't know why that camera does that. Oops, is that working again? Ta-da! Yes, there we go. I remember I must have been about 10, I think. Maybe a bit younger. And my godfather is an architect. And he said, I'll show you a trick. He said, look, you get a point like that. Is that all on there? It is, yeah. And you draw these lines coming out like that. And he said, and that's going to be the sea in the background. I think I've done a video about this. And he said, and then you can go like that. You go like that and like that. And that's the ship. And then you've got other lines coming up there. And so, you know, you've got that's the top of the ship there like that. And you can put the funnels like that and smoke pouring out and portholes down the side like that. And so all through my childhood, you know, I've been shown this little trick how to do that. And it's a 1-point perspective, and it's dead simple. And there's the horizon. This here is the vanishing point. And then we've got, you know, so this is actually we want that coming from more like that, so that we can have these sort of lines radiating out, and we can have the sort of the sea going in that direction. And it's a very, very basic one-step perspective. And if you can get that into your head, and you just doodle it, and you just keep doodling it, and I think probably I learned a lot of my perspective by just doing this drawing over and over and over again on little corners of pieces of paper. You know, to impress my friends, probably. So look what I can do. And then they would do some kind of, you know, trick thing. They would show you how to draw Donald Duck or something like that. And so everybody had a little drawing trick that they could do. And you just kind of build it up. But perspective and things like that, it's about practice. And if your brain isn't quite fitting in with it, then you need to just keep doing it, and then suddenly one day, oh right, and you'll sort of get your mind into that thing, and then you'll be able to kind of apply all those principles of perspective to anything you want. You know, maybe you need to do a really, maybe you're a very mathematical kind of person, and you need to do a very sort of mathematically sort of minded kind of lesson, you know, sort of series of lessons about perspective. Or maybe you're a little bit more kind of, you know, free and easy, in which case you need a more free and easy kind of person. Go and look, type Shoo Rayner perspective into YouTube. You'll find I've done quite a few videos, and they might help. Let me know if they do. Right, how are we doing? That was balancing room. Balancing, well, yeah. Well, a balancing room, you should be good at perspective, shouldn't you? Maybe you've chosen your name balancing room because you have a problem with balance, and that I've been there. I know what that's about. In which case, you know, perspective goes a bit weird. So maybe that's something to do with it. Valeria, Sophia, Cadillo, Lucas, happy smiley face. Thank you. Yes, snake's eyes. That's what it was, isn't it? That's right. Sometimes Mohammed says sometimes I lose interest in it. I think that happens. Yeah, I think sometimes I lose a bit of interest, and I'm probably tired. I've been overdoing it, maybe drawing too much or something, and creating too much, and you just kind of wear yourself out, and that's when you just need to say, I'm tired and I need a break. And you're allowed to. And some people, they take a break and never come back, because maybe they kind of reached a level where they, you know, that's as far as they want to go. And then some people take a break and then they come back re-energized, especially if you go and have a holiday or you go to a museum or go and have some kind of experience which kind of refires your creative juices. That's kind of the thing to do. So, where are we now? Sunshine Leclerc. I avoid profiles. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, I see. I'm thinking of sort of social media profile or something like that, that you're keeping your head really low and you don't want anyone to notice you. But I think what you mean is you avoid drawing like that. You avoid drawing in profile. Yeah, we talked about that last week. And if you look at what I did last week, I took a load of selfies. I'll see if I can find them. I've done a whole lot more since then. So yeah, what did I do? Yes, I did this one here last week. Let me go over that. The suggestion was to do a scene of abject, or a face of abject horror. so I did that, and let me come back here, and sort of drew the profile. And I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about how much I hate profiles this week. In fact, let me find my sketchbook. So yeah, last night I was let me go to the overhead channel. So yeah, last night I was just watching the TV, just drawing people. And you know, I always say that the good thing about drawing, or the bad thing, is it the good thing or the bad thing about drawing people on TV, is you usually get 3 seconds and then they change the camera angle and it's gone, and you have to kind of maybe wait 5 minutes to get another 3 seconds. So I was just sort of drawing these people, and then I thought maybe I should draw a little bit of an angle. And then this lady came on at an angle and I started drawing her. 3 seconds and she'd gone. And then there was this really great scene, and this looks nothing like the man that was on the television, but he did have the beard, and I really paid attention to his eyes, and I thought, yeah, I can see what's going on there, and the eyebrow. So I just quickly sketched that, and then I vaguely remembered his nose, and then the camera came back to him, the same angle. I was lucky, and I quickly sort of, you know, took in various details. And I thought, and I remember thinking, I must do more drawings in profile, because I don't really do that. I don't. Oh, yeah, this is from last week too. Trying to do more abject horror, but I don't think I quite got there. So again, it's practice, and it's about facing your fears. Because I'm all caught up on there. When you you know, you can build these fears up, you see. And you can think, I don't like doing profiles, and suddenly it becomes, no, I don't do profiles, and that's just a pure excuse to not even attempt to do profiles, and then it becomes, I hate profiles, and it builds up and builds up, and it becomes worse and worse. And so the thing to do is just to say, okay, for a month I am going to do nothing but draw profiles, and find profile pictures in magazines or on Google Images or something like that, and get friends to pose for you in profile, and just work at it, and look at other artists, see how they draw and do profiles. And I can't think I don't think people draw profiles that much, really, when I think about it, because I think because when you're looking at the drawing of a profile, then that person that you're looking at isn't engaging with you, whereas a portrait, they're usually staring out at you and you're engaging with the character, and so as a profile, I suppose it's a bit more voyeuristic, isn't it? You're kind of watching them rather than engaging with the person. So it's a very different kind of drawing altogether. But if you're being an illustrator or something, you're drawing a street scene, then of course you want to have people sort of walking sideways and having their profiles in there. So that's a commercial decision, I suppose, or if, yeah, if you're an illustrator and then you've been told that's what they want, that's what you do, that is a commercial decision. But if you're drawing a street scene, it is a definite decision that I want to have somebody, facing sideways on. And so you just have to do it. Get on with it. Spend a month just drawing profiles and nothing else. Let me know how you get on. Where are we now? Profiles. Yes. Sunshine. Leclerc. Do that. So, Jason, hello. Jason was a little happy, smiley face. David Life Bro. KS Michelle, lol. Me only using a picture from my mind. So is that your hang up, that you want to do it, or that's all you do? I don't think either of them. Well, if all you do is pictures out of your mind, I don't see that as a problem. Just keep on doing it, because there's probably if you keep on doing it, there's probably lots of stuff in there that's really quite interesting. But if you're having trouble with it, then maybe you need to do a little bit of sort of life drawing practice, so that when you get this vision in your head, you don't go, oh, I don't know how to draw that, and you can think, oh, that is like a light bulb, in which case it's that kind of shape, and I do that and I do that, and you can sort of say, right, I'll draw a light bulb and then I'll work out from there. I'll draw the basics of a light bulb and then I'll draw out from there. But you've got to know how to do that in the first place. So drawing things and learning stuff like perspective is boring. It's like learning a piano. Dum 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 dum. It's boring. But if you don't do it, if you don't learn those scales, the rest doesn't come. And so the same with drawing, particularly imaginative drawing. You really need to do some of that practice, and that gives you the skill and the confidence to be able to go, I can see this thing in my head and I'm going to draw it like this. And you can just start drawing, because I'll start with that shape and I'll start with that shape and I'll grow out from there and I'll do this and I'll do that. But if you're not used to knowing how to draw a tin of beans or a light bulb or something like that, you maybe don't know where to start. So maybe that is the problem. Yannick Hashback says, I know what you mean. There's a big delay in me reading on this, so I don't know which one you mean. But anyway, thanks, Yannick. David Lifebrook, cool. Jason says, David says, yeah. Artie Kataria, but how do we learn that skills? You go to, here, let me show you. You need to subscribe to my channel. Which one is that? Here. Very quickly, while you are watching this, look for a subscribe button and click it, and then click the little bell that pops up, and then click the word all, and then you will be notified next time I have a live stream coming up, because you'd much rather be watching this live than watching it afterwards. Go on, make sure you are subscribed to the Shoo Rayner live drawing channel. Oh yes, you'd much rather be you'd like to make sure that you are watching this. What happened there? Something went funny. I could see it said, oh, wait a minute. I'm just going to check that you got the microphone still going. Yes, good. I just got a little message flashed up on the screen. I thought I had all my technical issues solved this week, and I've been getting it right. And of course, 5 minutes before you go live, everything starts going wrong, but that's the way it is. So, where were we? Yeah, how do you get these skills? You get books, you go to art classes, you go to the Shoo Rayner drawing channel, and you start going through between my Shoo Rayner drawing channel and the I forgot what it's called, Draw Stuff Real Easy channel, which is another channel I do. I've got almost 2,000 videos showing you all this kind of stuff, and you can just work your way through. I know some people are just working their way through them all. And if you're really serious, you can come and join me on Patreon. And so this Saturday, in fact, I'm having a kind of live Zoom call with my patrons, and we'll be doing some drawing together and meeting up and all that. So let me tell you about Patreon. If you enjoy these shows and you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee to keep me going, head on over to patreon.com/Shoo Rayner, where you will find all the details of how you can support this channel. In the meantime, on with the show. Indeed, on with the show. So we got KS Michelle lol says, I'm supposed to be at school, but this is more important. Well, I hope they take that as an excuse. So there we go. David Lifebro says, yes, social media is the best. What is the best thing to waste time on? I know. I get my sometimes I sort of switch into Instagram and it's just swipe. I have lots of drawing people I follow and watercolor people, and after a while I think, whoa, wait a minute, and there is this problem also with sort of whisking through social media like that. Everybody's stuff is perfect, and you think, oh, I'm not as good as that. and the other thing I always get, the thing that worries, I should feel very confident in my own skills and style by now, but I look and go, oh, that's a really nice style, perhaps I should do that, and oh, that's really nice, perhaps I should have a go at doing that, and I shouldn't, and it's only because I'm looking at all this stuff and they're all saying, hey, look how good I am, that they're making me feel small, and I feel that I should maybe be working and doing stuff like that. Whereas I shouldn't. I should be doing what I do, and you should be doing the stuff that you want to do in your style. You learn stuff from watching other people's lessons, and you learn stuff from watching other people's work, but you don't want to end up being exactly the same. Because that person is already filling that little niche, and you want to express your thing, and you don't want to express your thing as somebody else, if that makes sense. So Judy in the Big Shed says, I always feel I need enough time in one go to make a perfect drawing. I'm slowly learning that any drawing, any mark even, is better than none. I quite agree with you there, Judy. And that perfect, that word perfect is a big problem, isn't it? And are you ever going to create that perfect piece of work? In fact, I got something ready actually here to talk about, because I thought perfectionism might turn up. Let me switch over to the overhead camera. And this is a bowl, okay? Let me give credit. Wood turning by Ed Atkinson, Burr Oak. And I saw this in a craft fair one day, and I thought, I want that. And look, it's it's no good as a bowl. It's completely useless. And yet there's something I really love. I need my glasses on. There's something I really love about this bowl. And can you see? If I had a little thing here which I wonder if this will work, if I can zoom in. It didn't want to work the other day. No, I think the battery's gone. No, that's not working. Anyway, if you can see, it's got this lovely swirly patterns, and this is made out of burr oak. And what happens is a branch or something, it gets bashed. It gets damaged in some way, and it's just kind of like a scar, a wound, a scar over the wound, and it sort of builds up this big knobbly thing over the branch, and these are really sought after, and so when the tree comes down, they cut the burrs off, and that's where you make really beautiful veneers and stuff, and this is being created out of a burr, and it's really fine. One of the things I like about it is it's so fine and so finely turned, it almost feels like porcelain. And yeah, it's got cracks in it and stuff, and this great big chunk taken out of it, which means as a bowl it's not really any use, but it is a beautiful thing in itself. And this exemplifies a Japanese idea called wabi sabi, which is kind of the acceptance of imperfection and transcendence, that everything has its time, and things fade, and things fall apart. I suppose a bit like entropy, I suppose, and it's an acceptance that happens, and so in Japanese art, almost like this, they will quite often put an imperfection in there so that it isn't perfect, and yet a real master at their craft, of course, should be able to create something that is perfect. And so the Japanese will put a little imperfection in there to show humility, so they don't have this whole hang up about being perfect, which I think is wonderful. I got another bowl here. See, I like wooden bowls. Another one here, and I saw this again they were selling it off. Nobody wanted it, and I think it's because it had this great big white streak in it here. Maybe that was putting people off. And also on the outside there are these imperfections, and I didn't really see those. What I saw was inside, and I don't know if you can see it very well. There's a kind of imperfection coming through here, and of course the wood turner, when they're making this, they don't know what's going to be here. They just start and they just keep going, and then as it was turning around, at some point it went dunk, and can you see there, it's a nail. And so at some point in this tree's life, somebody hammered a nail in, and so maybe it was a sign saying to the village fete, or private fishing, keep out, or something like that. But somebody hammered a nail in. It might have been hammering in little step ladders up to a tree house or something. That would be nice and romantic. But the nail got stuck in there, and as the wood turner was starting to curve it out, it went dunk. And I think a lot of people would have gone, I'm not doing that anymore because that's going to ruin my chisels, and they'd have just stopped. But this person just carried on, and it has this wonderful little silver spot of metal inside that tells a whole story, and that's just something I really love about this bowl. And so they were selling it off at the end of the day, and I said, I'll have that, thank you very much, and I'll appreciate it. So perfectionism is it's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. And, are you so, can you be so sure of yourself that you think you're ever going to do anything perfect? In which case, if you're convinced you're going to do something perfect, you might as well stop trying now, because you're not going to. And I love that Japanese idea of wabi-sabi, because it's accepting imperfection, and it's living with it and just saying, it's okay, I'm not going to make this absolutely perfect, but I am going to do my damnedest to get as near as possible, which is fine. And when you are working closely on a drawing or pottery or anything creative, you are just up close with the work. And the closer you get, the more you see the imperfections, and you go, oh, I slipped, oh, I missed that, oh, I shouldn't have done this, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And what you need to do is that when you have finished, you look at your work and you go, oh yeah, okay, I didn't quite get that right, and you consciously decide how you're going to get it right next time. And going back to athletes, you will always see, in the tennis, when they get a shot wrong, they will practice, and you'll see them practice hitting that imaginary ball. Baseball swingers and cricket batsmen, you'll always see them practicing the shots that they missed or that they got wrong, and trying to get it right next time. And it's the same with drawing. So maybe if you got it wrong, get another piece of paper and think, that's what I need to do. And it's muscle memory, and you're teaching your hand, that's what I should have done, not that, I should have done that. And you do it 10 times, 100 times, whatever. Practice it. And then you can say, right, I practiced it, and next time I'll get it right. And then you look for one thing that you're really proud of in the drawing, because there must be something you got right. And you go, I did all right there. And pat yourself on the back. close up your pad or something and stick that drawing away, and don't come back at it for at least 2 weeks, and you won't see them, all those mistakes anymore, because you've got some distance to it, and you'll see the drawing as a whole, and you'll see it in a completely different way, and it won't look imperfect anymore. It might not look perfect, but it won't look like rubbish, because that's all you're looking at is all the little imperfections, and that's not what you want to do. So let's see how we are doing on here. Any more questions? Any more thoughts? Ida Frank, sorry I'm late. Good morning all. Jason's good morning. Ida Frank. Big Sudoku. That's, I don't do Sudoku. I can't get the numbers to it. I can't get the numbers to add up. I don't have a good relationship with numbers. Math, yes. The big concepts, yes. Numbers, I don't get on with. Muabi Ayub. Sometimes I say to myself, I can't do it. Then say to yourself, I can do it. Twist it round. Twist it round. I was listening this morning on the radio, and they were talking about the Olympics in Japan this year. And Japan has just moved their state of emergency on for another month, and it looks like the Olympics aren't going to happen, and the chances are they're not going to go ahead this year, really. And they were talking to a sports psychologist, and they were saying, what about these poor sports people? What's going to happen to them? They're all locked up at home, and she was saying, well, the ones who are going to win they're going to be thinking, they're not going to be thinking, oh no, the Olympics are off. Oh no, I've wasted all this time. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to, that was my last chance or whatever. The ones who are going to win in 3 years' time at the next Olympics are the ones who go, wow, this is a real opportunity. I've got another 3 years to rehearse and another 3 years to practice and to build up my strength and skills, and and in 3 years' time it's going to be my time. And it's the people who see the opportunities rather than the losses are the ones who are going to win. So, where are we now? Muabi. When you say to myself, I can't do it, you can. And you just have to push through that. And you'll hear people say, oh, just push through it. And it doesn't help. It doesn't help. So the thing you do is you just sit down with a piece of paper and just start drawing anything. And in fact, what you want to do is get yourself a routine, and say, I have this little I don't know if I'll ever find it. No, one of my videos, I'll try and put a link there. One of my videos shows how to do, I cut out a little thing so you can quickly make 9 little squares in your sketchbook, and then each day do the same thing. So I'm going to draw lines that way, I'm going to draw lines that way, I'm going to draw dots that way, and have a kind of a patterns that you do, or something like that. Or if there's a particular drawing that you like to do, just repeat it every day. Draw a flower every day, something like that, the same flower. And you say, right, I'm going to forget about this big picture that I want to do. This is all I'm going to do. Is I can start this exercise, and it's a warm-up exercise, and it just gets you going. And you got this thing in your brain. You got the left and right side of your brain, and the left-hand side's going, jabba, 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 I can't do this. And the right-hand side of your brain is saying, I can actually, I can do this. And once you start drawing, once you start doing that exercise, all this jabba 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 starts to fade away, and the right hand side of the brain will come and say, I got this, it's okay. And you can calmly just sketch away and do your thing, and then the right hand side of the brain will say, okay, that's enough of that, let's get on with the real job. And you'll move that piece of paper away, get a new piece of paper, and then you'll start on the thing that your left hand side of the brain says you can't do, because your right hand side of the brain knows that you can. But the left-hand side is always going na 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 na, and you have to start to be able to shut it up and let the right-hand side of your brain get on with the job. And a lot of people say that's rubbish. I say it isn't, because I know that really works for me. Okay, so how are we doing? Oh, that's 3/4 of an hour. I've been talking solid. I'm going to have a quick slurp of tea. Where am I now? I remember, oh, where did that go? Can't say to myself, I can't. Jason, I remember you drawing 2 kids building a snowman that looked like Frosty the Snowman. I did. I think they're up there. Aren't these up here? There we are. Look. Yeah, they're just there. That's right, on the wall. That's right. That was 2 or 3 weeks back, wasn't it? On the Wednesday drawing show. So, Sunshine Leclerc, what lead is the pencil you're using? In that one is an HB. I'm surprised. Yeah. No, they must have been using another one. Was I? No, I think that was just an HB. Yeah. G. Alan Cook, hi there, how are you doing? I'm late. Huion flu. Oh dear. Well, I hope that gets better. You can always come to the beginning and watch it all over again. And Wimp58 says, I'm struggling with arm lengths and angles on cartoon people. With a screamy face. No, you got a laughing, crying face, and then a kind of a total anguish. Oh, what is it called? Weary face. Right, okay. And face with tears of joy. I've never known that if you put your cursor over it, it tells you what the thing is. There we are. What can I say? Well, cartoon characters can be anything, aren't they? They're pretty elastic. So let me draw that. Yeah, this is an HB. So a cartoon character, you can do whatever you like, really. You can give them, if they're sort of waving. Does it really matter? Unless you're kind of wanting them to look sort of human. But you're allowed to. That's the whole point about cartoons, isn't it? You're allowed to extend things. But I think then if you're really wanting to have cartoon characters that kind of look pretty human, and maybe you're doing superheroes or something like that, then it's about these building blocks, isn't it? So you're going to want to, and you just need to. It's practice again. You just need to kind of think. That you've got these kind of proportions. And it's a bit like those wooden models, like that. So maybe get yourself one of those wooden models and sort of play around with them like that. And they're pretty much half and half, aren't they? So what have we got there? Let me have a look over here. Hang on. There, that's the kind of a shoulder length. Let me get a ruler. Let's do this. So that's kind of a shoulder length. It's all back to front in the camera. Hang on. No, that's better. So if I go to about there, then that's 39 centimeters roughly. And so from my shoulder to my elbow is going to be about 39 centimeters. And then from my elbow to the tip of my hand, or elbow to about there, is 39 centimeters. So if we go and draw, the body like that, there, let's say that's 39 centimeters. Then we let me get a little piece of paper from somewhere. Hang on. If we do. So something like that to there, and then we're going to want to go from the centre, so that will be about there, and that's where the next joint will be. That's actually looking quite big, actually, isn't it? And then that's where the sort of the hand is going to be like that, and there are your hands. That actually kind of feels a bit big. So. I think you just need to do lots of experiments like that, and get a sketchbook and just fill it up with lots of little sketches like that. And you'll find, that if you're drawing young children, they'll have much shorter, kind of stubbier arms and bigger, chunky torsos, and superheroes will have great big shoulders and great big thick necks and enormous great big biceps. So they will all be different. But go and start measuring people. Sort of get your friends and say, get a tape measure and actually sort of measure and see what's going on. So that might sort of get you over that kind of thing. Struggling with balance room. Thank you. Pam Walker. Are these the sort of things that you talk about on your drawing course? Perspective, etc., etc. Well, I've sort of got go and look. Go to youtube.com/Shoo Rayner drawing, and you will find my drawing course is on there, and it's free. If you want all the details, then all the paper sheets and stuff come with it. You'll have to join me on Patreon for that, but all the videos are there, so just go and have a look. And I've done perspective things, and I talk about all sorts of stuff. So yes, I talk about all of this stuff. So Susanna Agox, I'm currently going mad with facial proportions. Again, that's I know many times, I think, when I've let me have a look. Press that button. I know quite often I've done how to draw videos about how to draw Steve Jobs or some famous person, and I've sort of broken it down, and I've actually got a photograph of them, and I've sort of broken it down into these kind of things, and maybe a line down the middle, so that you can say, okay, we've got the eyes are going to be about a third the way down there, and so the nose will be coming down to about there or something, and then to the bottom of that third, and then we'll come down halfway in this third, and that's where the mouth will be, and then the eyes, the top of the eyes are going to sort of reach that point along that third, which means that you can have the eyebrows roughly about there, and that we're going to sort of bring the face around, and then say we'll add an extra little sort of third of a third at the bottom, and sort of work it out all in these sort of fractions, and sort of work it out from there. And maybe you need to just look at lots of photographs and work things out like that, or get people to pose for you. Ask your friends and say, here, let me do your portrait. They will be thrilled. It doesn't matter how good it is or not, they'll be thrilled. And you do all this. And what you do is you get your thumb and you hold it out at a distance, and you're going to say, right, well, they are going to be, I'm looking at there at the moment. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's in the camera, isn't it? There we go. So I'm going, oh, right, okay, so if I get it, so say it's going to be about that much. That's how high I'm going to draw the head, and so you make a mark on your piece of paper, and then you kind of go, in which case then from the top of the forehead, then the eyes are going to be at that point, and you can measure it out like that. And as long as you keep that same distance and one eye open, you can use your thumb to measure like that all the different proportions, and then you can sort of put them down on your paper, and then you can do that sideways as well. And then if you want to go on an angle, like so, I got my head at an angle. Okay, so then what you do is you hold your thumb up, or hold the pencil up one way, or something like that. It's hard to do. No, it's all the wrong way around. But you can do angles kind of like that, holding the pencil up vertically and thinking those are the angles. So I want to draw at that angle. You put your hand down on the paper, so that's vertical, and that's the angle that I want. So you're going to end up with something like that, and you're going, that's the height of the face that I want, or something, and then you work out that's where the eyes are going to be, and that's where the nose is going to be, and you kind of mark it all out, and do you don't have to get it right in one go. You can do. So you don't have to get it right in one go. You can do pencil sketches and sort of improve and improve and improve. You get there in the end. Where are we now? Jason, I mean, you draw though kids building a snowman that looks like Frosty the Snow. Yeah, it's there on the wall. G. Alaka, I stay at the drawing desk so long that I've thrown my back out. Then you need to get up and stretch him. Hey, look, you have a phone, okay? It has a timer. Put a timer on it. After 15 minutes, it goes. You get up and you walk around the room for a minute and come back to it. There's no excuse. Mohammed Abek, this is very good advice from Mr. Shoo. Thank you. Joseph Miller, greetings, Shoo from Connecticut, USA. I'm never sure whether they put the C in there. Connecticut. I've said this before, haven't I? Love watching your drawing adventures. Thank you too. Thank you for coming along and joining in. Jason Shoo Rayner, I remember your first YouTube video is how to draw the Ginger Ninja. It is. And if you go and watch it, I did it exactly here. I didn't know how to make a YouTube video. It had an old camera with a videotape in it. Do you remember them? And I had it screwed onto a tripod, and I had all these IKEA lights were sort of hanging on with bits of tape. And if you watch it, you can almost hear. I think you can hear the tape in the background going. And then half the way through, all the lights fall off. And I didn't know how to edit, so I did it all in one cut and posted it up. But you learn, don't you? Now I have all this amazing technology. I can press buttons and things happen. So, Sunshine Leclerc, a month of profiles. Eek! Exactly. Eek! Go out of your comfort zone. That's probably the thing, you go, oh, I feel comfortable doing this. Do something that makes you feel uncomfortable, and you'll be doing it, and that will become your comfort zone, and you'll become known as they're the person who can do profiles. They're so good. Deepak, wow, how to draw like a professional. There you go. And Snakearoos, bye, I have to go to school. Okay. Big Shed Art, lots more on Shoo's Patreon too. Absolutely. So quite often I do a drawing on YouTube, and I'll show you how to do the watercolor, and I do other stuff on Patreon as well. You get all sorts of exciting stuff. So come and join me on Patreon. Yeah, think! Exclamation mark. Can you show us how to colour mandalas with watercolors in a nice way, please? Not now, I'm afraid, but I'll think about that. Matthias Orkerman. I think it's a little O over the A makes it Orca, doesn't it? Matthias Orkerman. A couple of weeks ago, I took all my masterpieces down from the wall and threw them away. I will never draw photographically again. I have never felt so artistically free. Yay! No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, sometimes you have to do that, and you but you learned so much from doing all that stuff, and all the skills that you learned from doing that stuff that you've taken out and thrown out has allowed you to move on. So don't sort of hate all that stuff. Just put it away and forget about it. It'd be really interesting to come back and see it years later. I got to that point, and I tore everything down and I burned it in a big artistic kind of I'm not doing this anymore thing. I burned everything. So I've got nothing to show. I've got very little art. I've got some from when I was about 4, I think, which my parents looked after. But I've got nothing to show of any art that I did before I was, I don't know, what, about 21 or 22. It's a real shame. It'd be quite interesting to see now. But good. And enjoy yourself, Matthias. Think with Pam Walker, beautiful yarn bowl it is, isn't it? Yeah. It wouldn't be, no, but this wouldn't be a good yarn bowl because it would keep catching up in the yarn, wouldn't it? But there you go. Hang on. Pam Walker. Pam Walker. Chunk out, cut out is important for a yarn ball. Oh, I see. I'd love for that. It's perfect. Oh, I see. That works then. Big set, lighter shape on the side of the dart bowl looks like a profile of a face. It does. There you are. Profile drawing for you. It's the eye, the nose and the mouth. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, cool. Right. There we are. Sky Pilgrim. Hey, Shoo, when do you know when to stop adding detail? I always have a habit of over-rendering my work. That's something you learn. And I think it goes back to that abstract thing. It's having that initial thought in your head and when you come closest to it. And I think with experience, each time, do that thing at the end. Go, when you finish, look at your work and say, where did I go wrong? Where did it? Where did I go wrong? And go, oh, I overdid that. I should have stopped there. I should have stopped there. And remember next time, that's when I stop. And set up little alarm bells in your head so that when you get to that point, ding, 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 should I be stopping? Should I be stopping? And then again, when you've finished, find the good bit and pat yourself on the back. Put it away for 2 weeks. Come back. It won't be as bad as you thought it was. But and again, then maybe think, did I ever do it? Maybe that's what I was after. And sort of just check that. Should I have done that? Should I have gone that further? In which case, remember next time, set those alarm bells up. Don't go. And maybe when those alarm bells go, just put it to one side. Come back in half an hour. Come back the next day. You don't have to finish right there and then. So put a bit of distance in it. Quite a lot. A lot of artists. The painters have those big long paintbrushes. Well, they paint like that. It's to get a bit of distance. If you're painting like that, you're only seeing this little part of the painting. If you get a long paintbrush and you paint from back here, you're seeing the whole thing. So if you're not quite sure, get up, go and walk around, go and run around the garden, something or other, come back and look at it from a distance and see, right, what do I need to do? And sort of think about it before you carry on. Just take that moment. And if you're not sure, finish it tomorrow. Doesn't have to be done today. Sky Pilgrim. Yannicka asks, have you ever felt your work was ready? That's a whole other thing, isn't it? G. Alan Cook, you might have already talked to this, but how do you draw or write a humorous drawing or book when you're depressed and melancholic? I suppose it's a job to be done. I have been there. I have been in that situation, and I think if you're doing it as a job, if you're being paid for it and you've got a deadline, you just somehow do it. And quite often, I think in the depths of depression, that sort of dark humour comes out, doesn't it? and maybe sort of adds to it. So I know sort of a couple of things I know I've done. There's a little bit of dark humour has crept into things. But I think you just have to kind of put on a happy face, be professional, and then go back to the drawing room back to the backstage afterwards and just cry your heart out. If it's a job, it's just got to be done, isn't it? Sam Muso 86. I find looking at the mistakes in my old drawings are more interesting than the perfect bits. They hurt me at the time, but amusing years on, and like the bowl, they tell a story. That is great, isn't it? And that's the acceptance. That's wabi sabi. That's acceptance of imperfection. That's great. There we are. Ishpreet Kaka says, hi, I'm new to this channel. Hello, how are you? Anna Christina Face and Body, hi from Fuerteventura, Canary Islands. Goodness, I don't think we've had Canary Islands before. Just saying hello. Blah, blah, can we quit school if we like drawing or sketching or anything in art? I guess you mean, can you quit school and just kind of get a job? I don't know. Art is traditionally a tricky business to make a living in, and I think anybody who's not in the art or creative business will tell you, oh, get yourself a degree, get a proper job, go and be a doctor. But I think if it's in you, it's really hard to get out. And I know many people who've been successful doctors, whatever, accountants and things like that. But deep in their hearts, they want to be an artist, and they have to wait until they retire and they have the time to do it, and which is kind of late. And so they're kind of jealous of me that I've had a career as a creative artist, whereas I'm kind of jealous of them because they've got great big fat pensions and things. So swings and roundabouts. But I think if you want to have a creative career, I don't think you want to just stop doing school. I think but do a lot of creative stuff. I think that's the thing. And sort of you need to learn life skills, which you'll learn from school, as well as creative skills as well. You need to know how to get around in this world, and you need to learn all that other stuff as well. So he said, yes, Big Shed, it's always the drawing paintings that I think are my worst that get the most likes on social media. That's interesting, isn't it? Hi, Clay. Clay Ratcliffe, regarding proportions, if it's something from life, I pick points on the object to use as landmarks, yeah? And I then use the angles between the points to locate finer details. The human brain identifies angles. Indeed. And I think that also sort of comes with practice. I know Clay's quite a mathematically inclined person and quite analytical, and we'll look at it that way. And I think, if you're just a kind of la 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 kind of person, then just draw in a la 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 way and see what turns out. But look at it and go, oh no, I don't like that. Maybe it should have been shorter. So next time you'll remember you make that arm shorter, or whatever it is, and you just learn. It's all about learning, experimenting, trying things out. So, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to call an end to this soon. Debbie Pauls, on days where drawing subjects are not coming forth, I'll draw the Eye of Horus, or us as it is. As a warm-up, I have a lot of eyes in my sketchbook. Excellent. Philip says, I've literally got a wooden model being delivered today. My arms are always too long. I'm sure. Your tips are so helpful. Good. Sophia Selma, I just drew your Viking ship for my schoolwork, and it looks amazing. Can you please teach me how to draw Viking shield? If you're going to draw stuff real easy, they aren't Viking shields. Now, I did a thing about shields for kind of Middle Ages. Viking shields, that's a good idea. I'll remember that. Sky Pilgrim, I love those wooden models. They aren't great for posing, but they're wonderful for understanding general proportions, and you can talk to them if you're on your own, which is really good. Daniel Shishmakov, hello Rice, I'm struggling to get out of artist block. Any idea to get out of it? Nothing. His trying is working. Maybe you're trying too hard. It's really difficult at the moment in sort of lockdown and everything. I don't know where you are, of course, but just relax. Don't panic about it, and go and do something else. Sort of get some plasticine or something. Do some modelling with your fingers or something like that. What's really good is if you can go to museums and stuff, and art galleries, and sort of see other people and get out and talk to other people and do different things. Sort of watch some movies, watch stuff that you don't normally do, and read books. Just bring stuff in, which is like sort of fuel that you can kind of work on, and then get yourself into the habit of just starting to draw something, and get a little practice sketch that you do every day, and as I said, it'll calm down that side of the left-hand side of the brain, which is probably very critical and criticising you and stuff like that, and it'll calm you down, and you just start drawing the same thing every day, and it'll calm your mind down, and suddenly these little ideas will come, and just every little idea, welcome it in, and don't expect big enormous ideas to turn up overnight. you got to work at it, and you will get there in the end. It's like gardening, so those little ideas are like seeds, and you need to dig the bed first, and you need to fertilize it and get it ready, and that's preparing your skills and knowledge and stuff like that. and then you put the seed in, and then you have to look after it, you have to tend it and give it fertilizer and stuff like that. You've got to let it grow, and I think quite a lot of block is all about, it's just being too tense and not letting it go. I've got a little thing here. I can put this down like that. That's better. So just relax and let new stuff in. I don't know, struggling to get an artist block. There we are. Hey, I just got in and love it so far. Thank you, Dinika Vinka. Is that, yeah? So, Crispin, I judge angles by asking myself, where would the hands of a clock be? I think I do that too. I do that certainly when I'm doing my sound checks and things. And I do little test recordings to check that the microphones are working and things. And I sort of do these recordings saying, right, well, the EQ knob is at 12 o'clock and the something or other knob is at 3 o'clock. So yeah, I kind of do that clock thing as well. Yeah. How do you make that bolt? I didn't. Join Mr. Rayner's Patreon. You absolutely won't regret it. Thank you so much. Joseph Miller, the first bowl. Ice cream. Yeah, you could do. And you could kind of let it dribble out of the little crack or something. Or you could put a 99 flake in there, a chocolate flake. And we'll look at that wooden model in the background. It's chilling on a pink duck. Ha ha. It's a pink flamingo duck, actually. Sky Pickler, thank you for answering my question. It's very insightful. Thank you. Good. I'm glad I could help. Crispin Dry is not art unless it has the potential to be a disaster. Banksy. Hello, Banksy. Kevin Ryan, I'm back. Sky Pilgrim, love your name. Me too. Shoo probably doesn't remember I was here last week. There's a lot to remember. Right, how do you do that face? Which one? Like that. Hey Svart Demon, how are you doing? Hey, what are some underrated colours in watercolour? Well, I have discovered mostly through my patrons on Patreon that I am a little bit obsessed with two colours in watercolour. One is neutral tint, which is a kind of a grey blue, and the other one is Naples yellow, and those are the ones that I use the most, and I'm also surprised that other people don't. So maybe they are the ones. And my patrons kind of, sort of rib me about it a bit. Yeah. So, it's very hard to keep up here. There we go. I can see Sarah O'Brien. Shoo. Hi, Shoo. Hi, Sarah O'Brien. Chris Majai, the Big Shadow, are you on Instagram? Big Shadow, Chris Majai, no, I avoid Instagram. Too many distractions already. I know. I keep thinking I should do Instagram more, and I kind of, yeah. It's just another thing, isn't it? Jane B, hi Shoo. I'm always struggling with drawing a sitting Labrador dog. Can you help, please? Thank you. Well, can I help? Next month, March. I'm going to have next month the follow-up book to this book here, Walker, the Boy Who Can Talk to Dogs, is coming out, and it's called Walker and the Mystery of the Missing Millions. And so we're going to do a bit of a promotion for the whole of March, well, up to the 25th, which is publication day. So it's 25 days. I'm going to do a dog a day, and they can be your dogs as well. So I haven't quite worked out the details yet. So I'm going to have everybody suggesting their dog, sending me a picture of their dog, and I want their dog to be like an Instagram kind of dog, which could have a thought bubble or something weird about that dog, and why they would be an Instagram star. So it's all to do with the story and things like that. So I will be doing a Labrador, and maybe I will do a sitting. Have I got a sitting Labrador in this one? I've got a Labrador, but it's not sitting. I don't think I've got any dogs sitting in this one. There's one. Yeah, there we are. This is Stella, and she's sitting. So I'll have a little think about that and whether I'll sort of fit that in. Crispy Drive. Right, so when did you start drawing? Well, I can remember drawing when I was about 4, but I'm sure I was drawing before that. So, Game Glenn 99 can have a shout out. No, Game Again 99. Willow, how can I make my drawings more accurate to my references? Again, that's measuring. If you really want accuracy, then you have to measure. That's the way it goes. Oh, I want to come back here. If you want to be accurate about things, then you have to measure, and you have to do all this. Or you have to get where are we? I'll press over there. Or you have to get kind of little bits of paper and sort of make marks like that, and think that's how you're going to do, and then that's going to be the height, and you kind of work them out. You have to measure. And the more you do that, and the more you draw, the more it gets ingrained into your head, and you find after a while you don't have to do so much measuring, because you've got it in there, and you've got this kind of muscle memory and your brain memory and things, and you can just do it. But if you want to be accurate, you've got to do that work, and it's like learning your scales on the piano and all that stuff. So these are going to never end. Where are we now? It's an hour and a quarter I've been talking. Joyce, they need a kind of thing where you can, maybe that's what I should do. If I get a bit of post-it note, I can put that on the screen, can't I, where I did the last question. How about that? Oh, yeah. Nora, well, can you please show how to draw a person sitting on a chair in 4 perspectives, please? Not now. Okay. Phoebe Johnson. Hi, Shoo. I watch your videos often, but this is the first time I've been on your live site. I missed the beginning, so we'll watch the replay. Thank you very much. Good. Skybook. I wanted to write a book and illustrate it too, but I often find myself having trouble with how big the images should be. So I do love working small. I work the same size as it will be printed. And it doesn't matter. You can work if you like. You do like working small. If you want to, you can draw very small. And normally a book is printed in 300 dots per inch. But if you then scan it 600 dots per inch or 1200 dots per inch, you can blow it up. Some people do that. They draw very small and then they blow it up. Right, I have one more question. How do I finish my drawings? By signing them at the end. Jacob, I started drawing again after I retired 4 years ago. I found your videos very helpful in overcoming my initial reluctance. Well, thank you very much. That's actually a story I hear quite often, and I think because I'm a children's book illustrator, the kind of things I draw are in a way the kind of things that what I find is I get people who have sort of retired and things like that and want to draw, and what it is that they kind of stopped drawing when they were 10 years old or maybe a bit older, and maybe they had a teacher telling them they were useless or something, or their friends told them they were useless, and they kind of just gave up, and they wanted to draw but were never encouraged, and I've always had this secret desire to draw. And then they sort of suddenly find they got some time, maybe the kids are left home, something like that, and they think, I want to draw, and so basically you're picking up from where you left off. But all those years that you did at school, learning to hold a pencil, learning to draw the sun and a little house and some trees in the background, that's all practice, and you build on that, and it's valid practice that you learned all those years ago. How are we doing? I didn't put the thingy there, so I've lost where I was. Big shed up, folks. I think we might have to let Shoo wind up. So more questions for next time. I think that's a good idea, Judy. Yannicka says, "Let me know when." Then I will send the picture of Bart Beagle. Let me know when. Yeah, okay. I'm going to be doing that exactly. What do you do to your unfinished drawings? I have an attic full of them. Someone, what's the best pencil to use in drawings? The pencil that's in your hand. Dr. Rashma E. Hi Shoo, how are you? I'm really inspired by you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Clay, have a great day, Shoo. Have to get back to work. Looking forward to Saturday's Zoom. I'll see you then. Good. See you, Clay. Svartdeepen do a 24-hour live stream, lol. I think Svartdeepen is my longest serving following subscriber in the world, I think. So thanks a lot up there in Sweden. Are you still in Sweden? And Crow says, I quit for 4 years and getting back into it is really hard. It is. But keep at it and you'll get there. Crow, first time here, well, welcome anyway. And Arya Wah says, hey, I've reached the end of all those. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and thanks you for all your questions and sharing all your problems, which isn't, just admitting to some problems is hard enough. But thank you very much for doing that, and I hope maybe I've sort of given some suggestions and ideas that are going to help one or two of you get over those blocks, or just move on and sort of try some new things. If you're finding things difficult, it's probably because you're in your comfort zone and you need to move on. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'm going to press this button. Make sure you come back next week. See you then. Well, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you click that little subscribe button, and when you do, ring the bell so that you get notifications of when I am going to go live next. You can come along and join in and bring your ideas as well. In the meantime, stay safe, keep well, and keep drawing. Practice, 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 and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.